Hello and good day. PurelyPennyStocks.com here with a hot technical alert for SNVP, Savoy Energy Corp, for April 26, 2012. This is a great chart because I love the way that the trends just unfold. It makes it very easy to predict when a trend starts and when it's going to end and where we currently are, whether we're in an upward trend or a downward trend. Taking a look back in February, we can see that just at the end of January, early February, we had some nice volume that came in, and it began the stock on a nice run. We went from a low here of 0006 all the way up to 0044 for a monstrous gain. We had a rising trend line. If we start to connect all our low points together in a straight line, this is basically our support trend that's pushing the prices up higher. And when that support trend gets broken, it suggests the stock's going to have a counter move in the opposite direction. So when we saw once that support trend was broken, we can see we had some negative pressure building up, pushing into that support area, and once it broke, the stock continued its sell-off down to the 001 area. Also looking at the MACD lines, which is great to use as well to give us momentum indicators. We can see the MACD lines were basically moving up for the entire upward trend, and we've drawn a vertical line here at the crossover point. You can see it coincides almost exactly where the trend support line had broken. So this gives us a very good indicator to use. We can now know that the MACD line is going to be giving us confirmation of whether we're entering or exiting a trend. And we can see the upward trend was exited and a downward trend began at this particular point where we moved down, as I mentioned before, to 0001. We have a very solid resistance trend line pushing the prices lower, and we had another breakout here. Again, you can see the MACD lines had crossed up right at that breakout point, giving us another great indicator the stock was moving in an upward trend. We continued up for a number of weeks, consistently hitting higher low points. Now, it wasn't quite as steep as the last run, but it was an upward trend. You can see every low point was higher and higher and higher. So this is probably more of intraday trading going on here. A lot of flippers. We're probably trying to get entries here along the support in the 2s and trying to sell in the 3s. And you can see the trend was basically continuing up, and where we had that crossover point again where the MACD line crossed down, we had a break of our support trend line. We hit a lower low and the support trend line was broken, suggesting we've got to move in the opposite direction. Now, what's interesting about this particular down move is it's more of a sideways consolidation. We have strong support at the 002 to 0022 area range. You can see that we've basically been moving. You can see on the first pullback we went to 0021, and now we're at 0022. Tested this level twice here over two separate trading days. I'm going to just move this circle over a little bit so you can see this other candle. You can see that we had come down on these 2 days and tested the support area, and it's beginning to hold. So we're confirming a support. We can see that volume spikes a little bit when we test that support area. So that's another positive thing. When we see volume increase along a support line, that's suggesting the support level is intact. We can use this as a launching platform for the next upward move. Now, the volatility is starting to get very tight here. You can see the support line is holding, and we've got this lower high point sort of building here. So it's been a little difficult to determine the actual direction of the trend, but we have a negative slope somewhere in this vicinity of a direction, and once we break above this resistance line, you can see it's just testing it right now. If we can get a breakout again, we're going to see another run occur. Could be like our first run that we saw, or it could be a little less gradual like the second run. Volume is going to play a very key indicator here in how hard the stock runs. The bigger the volume, the harder the stock's going to run. So what we want to see is volume to start to increase. It's been a little bit on the light side, below the 20-day volume average. So we want to see volume pick up above that 20-day volume average. And we want to see the MACD lines cross over. You can see that the histogram bars look like they've kind of bottomed out. They don't look like they're going to be going any lower here. So we want to watch for this to start to pinch in. We want to see a crossover come in here and a breaking of the resistance. We should see another great run occur. We likely have some resistance here at the high points at 0053, 0063. We've really only tested these level once, so it's not going to be a real strong resistance area. If we come up to them, certainly we can probably break them without much difficulty. So thanks very much for watching. Happy trading. Remember, I'm not an investment advisor, so don't use this for any buy or sell signal. Until next time.